Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is August 21st, 2025, and La Liga have filed a complaint against Mallorca with the Royal Spanish Football Federation. Also, Spotify Camp Nou updates as today the UEFA inspectors were there. And finally, it's reported that Hansi Flick is growing frustrated with the whole registrations issue. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and I know I'm bringing you these videos pretty late. Today I went to a Yankees Red Sox game. It was really fun. I don't usually go to baseball matches that often because I'm not really a baseball fan, but I got invited for a work event. I had a lot of fun, and I was also a guest on the Barca Volume podcast. My first time as a guest there. I had a lot of fun. Make sure to check out Miguel's channel and check out the podcast. We discussed a lot of topics. I was actually very late to the podcast because I was coming back from the Yankee Stadium, but nonetheless, I had lots of fun. But now, of course, I got to bring you these videos because I got to keep you up to date on all Barcelona news, starting with the news that La Liga have filed a complaint with the Royal Spanish Football Federation against Mallorca for chants that were heard from the Mallorca fans during the La Liga opener in that clash between Mallorca and Barcelona, where Barcelona won 0-3. Now, it seems that in the 41st minute, the supporters section of Mallorca were heard chanting over a microphone, screaming "Olele, Olala." Being a Barca fan is being a moron. It's, of course, a play on a Barcelona chant. There's a Barcelona chant that's in Catalan that says "Olele, Olala." Being a Barcelona fan is the best thing there is. A lot of La Liga teams have changed that to being a Barcelona fan is being a moron, and there was also chants heard saying "Puta Barça, Puta Barça." So as a result of this, La Liga have filed a complaint against Mallorca with the Royal Spanish Football Federation, to investigate these chants, and there could be fines levied against Mallorca. Now, as I've always said, I'm not really a big believer of these chants, unless the chants are racist or directly aimed at a player. I mean, this is football. This is what. This is part of it, saying, F Barca, F Madrid, F this, F that. I mean, that's just part of the chance. That's just part of the competition. I'm not a true believer really in censoring people, what they say in stadium, unless of course they're saying something like grave, like being racist towards a player or insulting a player directly. In that case, yes, absolutely. But just general chants, chanting against the other team, and that's what you're supposed to do. But anyways, let me know what you guys' thoughts and opinions about, fining teams for chanting against the visitors. Let me know down below in the comment section. Now, speaking of stadiums, we do have to talk about the Spotify Camp Nou because we do have updates. Now, as I reported in yesterday's podcast, Barcelona has reached an agreement with the city to play at Montjuic until February. This would, of course, cover the entire Champions League group stages, plus the 2 playoff matches in case Barcelona end in between the 9th and 24th spots, because if you end in those spots, you have to play 2 playoff matches against the same team, 1 home, 1 away, to see who qualifies to the knockout stages. And that's because, of course, as you know by now, under UEFA rules, if you start the group stages at a stadium, you cannot change that stadium until the group stages are over. So Barcelona have reached an agreement with the city to play in Montjuic until February. Of course, this is a plan B. This is in case Barcelona cannot return to the Camp Nou during the seasons. They have the Montjuic stadium available. So if the Camp Nou is ready, then Barcelona will play there. But if it's not, they have Montjuic already secured. Now, here's the concerning news, because I already told you about the whole agreement with Montjuic during yesterday's podcast. But the concerning thing is that today the deputy mayor, whose name is Albert Batlle, or Batle, I'm not sure how it's said, but he had the following statements about Montjuic. He said it will probably have to be used for a few more months, talking about the Olympic Stadium. It is good and prudent to start thinking about alternatives, among other reasons, because there is no need to rush. Fortunately, in Barcelona, we have a substitute, which is the Estadi Olímpic, or the Olympic Stadium. The club has not presented the final work certificate, talking about FC Barcelona, as of today. It has not presented the conditions required to apply for the first occupancy license. So here we have the deputy mayor of the city of Barcelona saying that Barcelona are most likely going to have to play a few more months at Montjuic because Barcelona have not submitted the certificate of completion. It's a certificate that you turn to the city saying, hey, all the construction is done. Please come inspect it. That's when the city then goes inspect, make sure everything's up to code. And if it is, then they grant you the permit to start using the stadium or the building that you're applying for. And so far, Barcelona have not done any of this. So here we have the deputy mayor saying, it looks like Barcelona going to have to play more months with Montjuic. And I say this is concerning because when Barcelona announced that they were going to be going back to the Joan Gamper, it was the city council that came out and said, wait a minute, why is FC Barcelona announcing this? There's no way the stadium is going to be ready by then. And lo and behold, the city council were right. And here we have, once again, the city council saying Barcelona are going to have to play a few more months at Montjuic because the stadium is not going to be ready. So I fear that it's starting to look more and more like it, that Barcelona are not going to be able to play at the Camp Nou during the first half of this season. Of course, I hope and I pray that I'm 100% wrong and that we do go back to our home stadium. But at every passing day, it's looking less and less likely. Now, despite Barcelona securing the agreement with the city to play at Montjuic until February, of course, there's one big problem, which is the Valencia match, which is the first home match for Barcelona. It's the fourth fixture of La Liga, first home match for Barcelona. And the problem is that Montjuic, even though it's going to be available until February for the club, is not going to be available that weekend because 2 days before, there's a Post Malone concert. So the pitch is not going to be ready. So, of course, the question is, what is Barcelona going to do? Well, Barcelona are currently now considering three options. The first option is to play at Montilivi. If you don't know Montilivi, that's the stadium of Girona. It's close to Barcelona. It's not like next door. It's not 5 minutes away. It's probably like an hour train ride or an hour bus ride. So Montilivi is Girona stadium. So that's an alternative that Barcelona are considering, even though Barcelona have yet to reach out to Girona to try to reach an agreement. I'm sure if they did, there wouldn't be a problem. There's really good relationship between Barcelona and Girona. The second option is, of course, Montjuic. But in this case, since we do have the Post Malone concert there 2 days before, there will be the alternative of moving the Post Malone concert to the Palau Sant Jordi. And that would free up Montjuic. But this option is extremely remote because Palau Sant Jordi is much smaller. So that would mean, either telling the concert organizer, sorry, you're going to have to sell less tickets, or if they already sold more tickets, sorry, you're going to have to refund money. So I just don't see this option as a viable one. And finally, the third option would be at, of course, Mestalla, which is Valencia's stadium. For this, Barcelona would have to request from La Liga to have the Valencia match being played away rather than at home. And these are the three options that Barcelona are considering for the Valencia match in case the Camp Nou is not ready. And of course, my question to you is, which one do you prefer? Montilivi? Mestalla? Let me know down below in the comment section. Now, on to the next bit of news, because reports are stating that Barcelona... Before we talk about the next bit of news, I almost forgot. We do have to talk about the Camp Nou since we're talking about the stadium. Because, ladies and gentlemen, today UEFA inspectors visited the stadium to see how the construction is going, to see if the stadium will meet UEFA's requirements to host that European competition. And there is good news. There is good news because, ladies and gentlemen, after this visit, UEFA has now decided to grant Barcelona's request to have the first Champions League match played away regardless of what happens during the draw. Now, initially, UEFA had said no, that the draw was going to determine whether Barcelona's first match is away or at home. But after today's inspection, UEFA have decided that, yes, to grant that request. So the first Champions League match will be played away. That, of course, gives more time for Barcelona to prepare the Camp Nou. Again, we will see what happens. Hopefully, we can return to the Camp Nou. But in case not, again, there's the option of Montjuic. But for now, Barcelona getting a little more time from UEFA. Now let's move on to the next bit of news, since I almost forgot to mention the good news about UEFA. But let's talk about Hansi Flick, because it's reported that the Barcelona coach is now frustrated with the whole registration situation, and that he met with Deco in order to get more clarity, and then also to request from Deco to accelerate the registration of the players by this weekend's match against Levante. Because, as you know, even though Joan Garcia and Marcus Rashford have been registered, we still have Gerard Martin, Rooney Bargi, and of course Wojciech Szczesny, who have yet to be registered. So Flick not too happy with that. In regards to the Gerard Martin, with the departure of Iñigo Martinez, Flick doesn't have that many options, or any options now as left-footed center back, so he needs Gerard Martin to be registered. As far as tech, Flick had to call up on Iñaki Peña as the second goalkeeper, a goalkeeper that Flick does not count on, and a goalkeeper that did not play a single minute in the preseason. So Flick, of course, wants his second goalkeeper registered, which is Wojciech Szczesny. And finally, there is, of course, Rooney Bargi. Not as urgent, but it's reported that Barcelona are not ruling out registering Rooney Bargi as a Barca Athletic player, since he was a Barca Athletic signing to begin with. But as you know, La Liga recommended that Barcelona should probably sign Rooney Bargi as a first-team player, since now he's going to be exclusively with the first team. But since Real Madrid were allowed to register Mastantuono, who clearly is a first-team signing, as a Castilla player or as a reserve team player, Barcelona not ruling out doing the same with Rooney Bargi. But of course, for now, they prefer to register him with the first team to follow La Liga's recommendation. Now, speaking of Gerard Martin, he's right now the priority. Flick wants Gerard Martin to be registered before everyone else. And of course, in order for that to happen, Barcelona need to offload Oriol Romeo. And as I told you in yesterday's podcast, the agreement to rescind his contract is practically done. And now the new news is that this can happen during this week. It's expected that this week Barcelona and the player will put pen to paper, where the club and the player will agree to terminate the contract of Oriol Romeo, and Oriol Romeo will leave as a free agent to join either Girona or Oviedo here in La Liga. And he also has some offers from the MLS. Now, of course, we're going to have to wait and see whether Barcelona will have to pay Oriol Romeo some money, because he did have a year left on his contract, or not, or whether he's going to forgive the entire year. We'll have to wait and see, but just expect that Oriol Romeo will be terminating his contract during this week, which will allow Barcelona to register Gerard Martin. Anyways, that is all the news for this video. We'll upload another video in a few moments, so stay tuned to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, Visca Barça.